It is the World Health Day, and you've been asked to come onto the stage and say a few things on it. It is the annual day, and you have been asked to speak on the achievements of your school or some of your merit holder students. It can be any other occasion, and you have been asked, like Republic Day, being the school captain, you are asked to come onto the stage and say something on what it is all about. You cannot be anybody or anything except someone who is position holder. You have to be somebody. Could be a person of authority, or could be a person who can connect to the masses. So speech writing is what I have come here with. What are the strategies to begin with, how to proceed with it, and how to give it a good ending, how to gather attention of the audience, to connect with them because it's face to face. It's a very, very, very cautious affair. You cannot go about and blurt out anything that comes to your mind. Audience is alive. You have to be as alive, in fact more alive than they are. The difference between article and speech, I will come up with it. Article or a piece of writing, when a reader comes, the writer is dead. You are no more there, only the reader is. Reader can interpret it in its own way, in his own way, her own way. But when a speech is there, the speaker is in direct communion with the audience. Let's see how we go about doing it. So, hello students. Speech writing, one of those portions of writing which has been a very questionable one, because many of the students find it really difficult. How to start writing it, how to get about writing it, and how to end it. Well, good speakers write their speech first and then embellish it, even moderate it in the live situation. So let's learn. Here I am, Sumit, PGT English in KV number 1 Army, Jodhpur.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Speech is different from an article. How? Speech is more of a direct face-to-face affair. While you are standing before a mass audience, it is a lot more difficult to keep the content right. While on the other hand, it is a little easier, I would say a little easier, not so difficult while writing an article, because article is a written piece of expression on a certain topic or a subject concerned. Well, the next question arises, is both the content of speech as well as the content of article, are they same or different? Well, the content may be same, but the expression or the manner is different. Well, the content may be same, but the expression or the manner of your articulation of the content, the expression is different, really different. Well, because the speech uses short sentences, it uses more interjunctions, it uses more questions, while on the other hand in an article you can use long sentences and you can avoid questioning the readers, because the article is to be read while the speech is to be listened to. Now, while you acknowledge the presence of dignitaries, you can start by wishing the chief guest or the principal and the teachers a very good morning. I have taken an example. Good morning, honorable judges or principal, teachers, and my dear friends. On this fine and beautiful morning, I, Avinash, the school head boy or the school CCA secretary, whichever position you are holding, I am standing here before you to speak on this topic. I have taken this topic as rising incidents of violence and restlessness among the students. Well, to progress the speech is a really challenging job, because you need to tell them the specific purpose as to why you are standing over there. There are 6 ways to start, as I have always been telling in my classes. The one of the best ways rather, is relating a personal anecdote or something that you have been a witness to, an incident that you can that. The example: respected principal sir, teachers and my dear friends. Well, you must be wondering why I stand before you this morning. Actually, an incident which I witnessed yesterday at Ring Road shocked me, such that I thought I must share it with you. Well, dear friends, while returning from the Jalori Gate Market yesterday evening, I saw a huge army truck hitting a motorcycle rider. The latter went skidding against the rough roads 10 meters ahead and got blood smeared. Many vehicles stopped, inquired and went by, but nobody cared to take the injured boy to the hospital. And the strangest part of the incident is, you will not believe, the hospital was just half a kilometer away. Well, such is the state of rise in insensitivity among the people. Now I will take you to 6 very good ways of starting a particular topic. I have already dealt with the personal anecdote type, but there are 6 actually.
Tell you 3 stories from my life. That's it. No big deal. Just 3 stories. The first story is about connecting the dots. I dropped out of Reed College after the first 6 months, but then stayed around as a drop-in for another 18 months or so before I really quit. So why'd I drop out? It started before I was born.
As I've stated over here, you can quote an anecdote, just as I told you, just as I gave an example of. This strategy can be used in a letter to an editor too, because the editor would be enlivened, he would be awakened to the situation.
But I still remember that when we started working in the schools, the first time I went into a Delhi government school, I'll never forget. As soon as you entered the school, from the gate itself, the first standing memory that I still have is that you could smell the toilet. And that toilet, which was 50 meters away, which you could smell till the gate of the school, because there was so much shortage of infrastructure, children were sitting in the corridor outside the toilet and there was a class going on there. This was the state of what a government school was. And in a city like Delhi, still more than 65% of children go into government schools. And that is really where we started our story from. And our story so far in the past 5 years, of course, has been a long journey. But just sharing some of the themes and issues that I feel that we have been able to change.
You have to be more personally related to the subject that you are raising or the subject that you are citing. You have to be utterly related to it. And what better than quoting a personal anecdote? Like I said, you can even quote an incident which you have been witness to. You have been subject to, or you have been a victim, or you are a witness. Both ways you can write. Give a real one, and if you haven't gone through a real incident, then you can always come up with a fictitious incident. B, you can start with a question, a thought-provoking question, thought-provoking one, a question.
In class 8,
very good.
I saw a billboard while going to school every day. There was a smart soldier wearing olive green uniform, pointing a finger and asking, "Do you have it in you?" That question literally shaped up my life, and that is the question that I want to ask all of you today. Do you have it in you? Hello everyone, I am Major Archie Acharya, and today I am going to talk about the journey of my life and perhaps answer the question what I have.
See, arouse the curiosity by giving some statistics. You can give some statistics or to substantiate. You can give some statistics to substantiate the claims of the topic. That is the third start.
Imagine if the solution to climate change or the idea to create a swatch cleaning robot for an entire village lies with a young girl in rural India.
Look, such inspiring goals can be given to the audience in the very beginning.
I am Aditi Prasad, and I'm committed to empowering young girls in India to be creators and innovators. Through coding education, we at Indian Girls Code aim to bridge the gender gap and digital divide in our country.
Aim to bridge the gender gap in our country. Well, did you see? This girl Aditi Prasad is committed towards doing this thing, and she sets herself and the audience also an aim. So my point is, you can even set a goal or give the audience an aim so that they can work upon it, and then you go about with your speech.
I was privileged to be brought up in an environment that empowered me to be anything I wanted to be. From a very young age, my parents respected my sisters and my inquisitiveness and the choices we made. But that is not the case for most girls in our country. Gender bias starts very, very early.
Now you see, students, she is starting upon her observations on gender bias, and she is just about to elaborate upon them as well, and she will go very systematically and on the basis of very strong statistics as well. Just see very carefully.
And it's especially prevalent in fields that are traditionally seen as masculine. Young girls themselves hesitate to join these fields.
Now you see, she will go on to the causes, and right after that she would ground her observations on very dexterously, meticulously researched statistics as well. You will see how cleverly and very smoothly, seamlessly she does that.
Parents don't encourage robotics classes for their girls and would rather enroll them in dance, art, or music. While there's nothing wrong with the arts, of course, but these must be chosen voluntarily by boys or girls based on personal interest and ability, and not as a fallback option because they're wrongly deemed incapable of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. In a recent survey conducted in schools with a 50-50 proportion of boys and girls, where science and math are mandatory, indicated that girls heavily outperform boys. But when you make math and science optional, the picture changes radically. By the time you get to college, women opting for science is half of what it was at the school level. And when you get to the workspace, that figure drops by half again. Then 50% of women leave employment between junior to mid-level career, and sometimes they never return. Which means 50% of trained women stop contributing to the economy and adding that unique female perspective. Now, assuming we started off with 50-50 at the school level, by the time we get to mid-level career, women represent only 7% of the workforce. In the next 10 to 15 years, autonomous electrical vehicles, data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and shared economy businesses like Uber and Airbnb will change the complete landscape of countries and societies.
Well, after quoting the statistics, she is giving us a future perspective. And this is very important. Give the audience a future perspective of the consequences of the present issue at hand or whatever scenario you have stated.
If we don't equip our kids with the requisite skills, the digital divide and gender gap will widen and leave them culturally and economically far behind.
See, the point she makes is we cannot afford to leave our girls behind economically or culturally. That is why coding education is very much essential for the girls as well.
And we definitely can't leave our girls and women behind, especially if all they need is access to the right tools. We have to close that gap right now.
Fourth one is you can use sarcasm, which wants the audience to foresee what's coming up in your speech. Like you can start a sentence using your sarcasm, something of a bitter statement with a bit of humor as well, and the audience will wake up to it. They will guess as to what you are going to
5 years
talk.
I often think of the time when this was soon after the Aam Aadmi Party government had been elected to power, and we were really gung ho ke ab hum schools ko badlenge, kuch acha kaam karenge. And I remember I was out for dinner with some friends, and really long-standing friends who had even supported us, etc. And I was telling them that I was very excited कि चलो अब हम government schools को improve कर लेंगे, we'll make them better than private schools. And this really old friend of mine whom I've known for many years, his brother was also at the dinner. So when I said that we are going to make government schools better than private schools, he laughed so loudly he choked on his food. And he says, Atishi, you know, like you're an old friend, but thoda sa na have realistic dreams कि क्या actually हो सकता है. And now I think I need to go back to that dinner once again. And so for the past 5 years, really, it's been a journey, and I think we don't need to really tell any of you what a bad shape government schools were in. I think across the country, when is it that we hear of government schools?
And the fifth one is a very general start, a very general statement can be put up. But these statements, as it has been observed, active. And the sixth start is also not a very good type. I don't recommend that, but it has often been used by many of the speech writers or the speakers on the stage. A definition on the subject or the expository subject that you are going to talk about, like pollution. So you are going to talk on pollution, so define pollution. Hey audience, what is pollution? And then you go about progressing on that. But that is not a very good start. I don't recommend that. Now I have taken another topic for the personal anecdote start. This kind of start is a very good start, like I said. So I took 2 examples. Growing incidents of indiscipline among youngsters. That is the topic you have been given, and being a student position holder, you are to go to the stage and say. So here's how you start. Only yesterday there was a very ugly case during recess. About 4 to 5 hooligans who seemed to be from a neighboring school entered our school campus. They had a very violent fight with some of our senior class 11 students, whom I don't want to name. If our physical instructor sir had not spotted and intervened in the fight for good, then one of our students would have ended up in a jail. The monitor of the mentioned class has also sustained serious injuries on his head. This is painful. This is really painful. Our heads hang down in shame, dear friends, when such incidents of violence involving our students taints our name. Right, that was one of the starts. Now let's say another case of bunking of classes, and principal wants to deliver a warning. So here the principal himself or herself goes onto the stage and he starts talking. Just yesterday, as many as 5 students were found bunking their classes right from period 1 till recess, until they were caught. And this was not the first time students have violated the school discipline. Today, what brings me here on stage is the unspeakable limits these notorious boys have reached. Do you see, children? Do you see, students? Now another incident I have taken up. Let's say it's a matter of shame to even discuss, but still it's important. In a school where a class 5th student dies by beating off his classmates, what kind of environment are we creating? What kind of environment are we creating? Can we put it in a form of question? Or if it's a case of a student misbehaving with the teacher, then the principal may deliver again a warning speech this way. Well, my fellow teachers and my dear students, what brings me here is a very specific purpose. Previously, I had no intentions to speak publicly on it, but there have been many incidents in the past 4 days that compelled me to speak on the matter here. Another case, like students are getting absent, then in that case an example is like this. A very disturbing observation brings me here, students. Well, this is the principal's line actually, because he would say students. So a very disturbing observation brings me here, students. Well, in the inverted quotes, do you see? It is how you start. A captain, a principal start. Students. But as a captain from the students, like you're on a students council and you are a position holder, you're a captain, then how you would start? This way. I have been compelled to come here to raise the school's concern over a matter of primary importance for you all, and that is your attendance. Do you see, friends? The subject has been cited, your attendance, and the target audience has been specified, that is the students, and a very good start by a school captain. Well, can start with a question. You want to see an example, a thought-provoking question, like I said? Well, yes, here you are. Friends, I'm here standing before you for a very specific purpose. Have you wondered why there is an alarming increase in the cases of violence among students? Well, that is the question. That is how you start. And when you ask a question, the students will start thinking. And that thought, that thinking is important. Well, that is called a very good start. Or we'll get to another one. In order to make them think of their own, you are to question an audience and enticing them towards the topic, to prime them up and arouse interest in them, getting the audience to relate to the topic with themselves, right? With themselves, because being related to a topic always will help in them getting involved in your speech. That is important. They will give you more attention than. I have another device which I always have loved, and many of the good speakers from history as well as contemporary speakers are fond of using. Abraham Lincoln used it, Martin Luther King used it, Nehru used it, Modi ji uses it, and very many. Winston Churchill used it many a time. Among very sports persons also you would find David Beckham using it, and even Virat Kohli uses it. Among stage actors as well, Shah Rukh Khan likes to use it. There are many others. So use of repetition as a device to arrest attention. Like I'll give an example. Isn't it a matter of shame for the school? Isn't it a matter of shame for your parents? And isn't it a matter of shame for you as well?
In structure to show contrast. There is not a liberal America or a conservative America. There is one America.
There is not a black America and a white America and Latino America and Asian America. There's the United States of America.
For the presidency in the forthcoming election.
America, tonight, if you feel the same energy that I do, if you feel the same urgency that I do, if you feel the same passion that I do, if you feel the same hopefulness that I do, if we do what we must do, then I have no doubt that all across the country, from Florida to Oregon, from Washington to Maine,
went out and collected the change. I have faith because of David and Francine Wheeler. I have faith because of Michael and Harris Stolzenberg. And I have faith because of you, the network of angels.
There's another device which I always am using it. I do use it in class and whenever I get the chance. And I advise you to antithesis, like here. And dear teachers and parents together, let me throw a word of caution. The first time your child steals a pencil or hits a passing dog, a stone, or even utters obscenities in your face, it may be a petty experimental mischief for him, but it may turn out to be a giant nod of your approval, our approval from us, giant nod of approval from our side, if we don't sit and talk and find out the cause. So a little thing here, but but a great thing happening as a consequence. This is antithesis. That is something that you don't expect. The effect is quite the magnified or the zoomed consequence of the cause.
Exactly 30 years ago, in the month of September, a father was yelling at his son, "Study well, or else you will become a waiter or cook." I was not the son, nor it was my father. It was just few weeks after me joining Institute of Hotel Management. It was my neighbor who was yelling at his son, "Study well, or else you will become a waiter or cook like Sanjay."
So opposing ideas, contrasting effect. Let's look at another example. Setting foot on moon may be a small step for man, but a giant stride for mankind, right? Small and giant, the opposing ideas, but it produces a contrasting effect, you know, like a small step but a giant stride on the other hand, right? Another quote to end with: the start can always be aided, always be helped by a quote, like here, "Nip the devil in the bud." Now this is antithesis. There is antithesis inherent in it. Antithesis means, like in a bud, in a little bud, innocent bud which has not yet become a flower, how can a devil reside? But you have to nip that devil in the bud. That means kill the devil, kill the wrong when it has not yet become a greater wrong. Kill the wrong thing in its roots when it has not yet grown into a big wrong as to cause harm to him and others. Yes. And arouse the curiosity by giving some statistics, which is another start, the third start, which I have talked about in the list of good starts in the beginning. Some stats, and I'll give you example as well, as I am habituated to. This is the second most favored way. Like I said, I favor it, I recommend it to use after personal anecdote. Example: imagine, students, as many as 5 incidents of violence have happened within a space of 1 week in the confines of our school. And guess what? Each of them involving the senior boys. I thought, being the head boy or being the head girl, I must talk to you all today here during the morning assembly. I'll give another example. You can even invent it. Like, if you have not seen, then you can invent it. Like, you can always come up with a fictitious example. Write some observations, like price rise is the topic that you have chosen. The beginning could be this way: the price of pulses from rupees 20 shooting to rupees 80 in 8 years is an eye opener. Don't you see? This statistic is concrete.
Meant that the weavers in India became beggars, and India went from being a world-famous exporter of finished cloth into an importer. Went from having 27% of world trade to less than 2%.
Right.
Meanwhile,
it makes effect. It has a big impact as well. Now coming to the fourth star, that is the sarcasm. An audience is expected to read something into it. What are you up to? So, example: well, friends, I don't need to tell you why I stand here on stage before you all. After all, that happened in the sports ground yesterday. Do I need to really? Do I need to tell you really why I am here? After all, that happened in the sports ground yesterday. That means you are indicating to the incident, to something that happened yesterday, and it is in the knowledge of everybody what ugly incident happened yesterday in the sports ground, and that is a sarcasm, an indirect hint you are giving to the students, and a hidden message, because you are talking about the
sense of humor. The world will always be a dull and dreary place. No darkness or despair should ever be beyond a good and a hearty laugh. I'm going to tell you a few incidents. If you're not bored, I have about 7.5 minutes left. We used to live on the 3rd floor of an apartment building, and as people on 3rd floor tend to do, My friends and I used to throw things down from the balcony. You know, wrappers, tidbits, dog shit wrapped in newspapers, the usual stuff, yeah. One day the old gentleman on the ground floor, there always is an old senile gentleman on the ground floor. He had had enough of our daily droppings. He charged at us, yelling at the top of his voice, भाई साहब, ऊपर से चीजें नीचे आती हैं. ऊपर से चीजें नीचे आती हैं. And you know, the whole mohalla, the colony emerged to witness the spectacle. My father was there. I was mortified. And he kept screaming, ऊपर से चीजें नीचे आती हैं. And my father calmly looked at him and said, चाचा जी, ऊपर से चीजें नीचे आती हैं, ये न्यूटन ने बहुत सालों पहले बताया था. आप कोई नई बात बताओ, अंदर बैठ के चाय पी के बात करते हैं. And it instantly diffused the situation. The old man smiled. We went into the apartment, worked out how dog shit needs to be disposed of properly. Over a cup of tea, and life was back to normal again. And there was another incident I'm going to relate. I had been eyeing this attractive, dusky girl who lived in our building.
Now the fifth one, that is a general observation. Here you are an example. That is a little boring start, although it has been a very trending one. It has been used in many essays also. If you grab any essay book, you will see. Like now you're going to find out the topic. I'm not giving the topic. Just look at the example. Tell me on what topic it is. Example. The present times are restless and uncertain, and the youngster is getting more and more restless and violent. There have been incidents of violence among students in the past few days. This is a matter of worry. So here I am standing before you, expressing my concern over such unruly behavior of the students. Do you see the first two lines? The present times are restless and uncertain, and well, do you see the first two lines? The present times are restless and uncertain, and as a consequence, the youngster of the day is getting more and more restless and violent. There have been incidents of violence among students in the past few days. Do you see? You have not quoted any statistics, you have not come up with any anecdote or any incident. What makes you observe that the present times are restless? Is there any incident of any violence between youngsters, among youngsters, yesterday's or a week before? No incident, no statistics, no question mark, just a plain bland general observation. And this observation you will elaborate upon after a little while as you progress in the speech. Of course, you will add, this is a matter of worry, and here I am standing before you, blah blah blah. But such plain statements are not very effective, as I have often already said. It is not advisable, although many students can. You can. A quote on the topic always helps, right? A quote, like here, I'll give an example. Violence is not a catalyst but a diversion. That means violence is not a catalyst to your growth, rather it's a diversion. If you want to divert yourself from something creative, something healthy, then violence is the only resort. Like that is a quote. But quotes have to be little simple so that everybody understands it, right? It may be used in the end, because in the beginning it's very heavy, like I said. It must be in the end so that everybody understands it. And the final sixth beginning is start with the definition. Example, students, violence amongst youngsters means fights and mutual brawls, conflicts among themselves. Well, that is the definition. You see, you have not quoted any incident, but you have gotten the literal meaning of the subject, right? Another way, another example. Friends, student restlessness is the new mantra in this age of growing skepticism, mistrust, and unrealizable ambition. Now you will, after this, you will give a space, and in the next paragraph, reminding you students that you will have to use as many paragraphs as possible. Give spaces. In every paragraph, you have to write 2 or 3 sentences. Like this one, when you start, you are going to explain the meaning of mistrust, skepticism, unrealizable ambition in the next paragraph. This is your observation as well, that everybody has got an ambition. Every youngster has got an ambition. Your ambitions in your relationships, ambitions in your careers, whatnot. But many of them are not realizable. So you have to tell in the next paragraph. Some of you, like, you could go ahead saying, many of us want to become doctors. Even if we don't have that aptitude for engineering or medical sciences, who does not want to be famous? Even if we don't look into ourselves about the talents that we have, and everybody wants to have friends, although we are not very friendly with others. Well, this way we can go about. Ambition should be realizable. Skepticism means doubt. Everybody is born with a doubt, looks for trust, and trust is not found anywhere. So there is an atmosphere of mistrust. Well, but then this is a little boring, and it can. I'll give 2 examples. You yourself, I give some examples, right? 3 examples rather. You for yourself find out which is the most arresting, more attractive start. And the topic I have chosen is environment conservation. 3 of the starts for the same topic. Read them, and I will read with you. Environmental conservation is a term of saving of air, water, soil, and even the trees and the mountains. Okay, this is the first, which is of definition type. Or 10,000 acres of cultivable land gets depleted every year thanks to the demands of new age modern industry. This is of the statistic type. Or just a week ago, a sudden acid rains fell in Gurgaon, and a huge farm and their produce get destroyed. Why? Nature has its own ways to avenge its abuse by man. This is of the anecdotal type. For the present pandemic times, I do have another example. Supposing I was asked to come on the stage and say something on that, then I would have started, because this whole part of this lesson, this first part, is all about how to begin with the speech. In the next part, we will come with the proceeding of the speech and how to end it up, the middle portion as well as the end of it. So, pandemic times, 4 lakh cases in our country a single day. The first quarter of 2021 has yet not passed, and the whole country is trembling, short of vaccinations, oxygen tanks, and hopes. Our country has never seen such troublesome times in the past 100 years. Well, Corona, COVID-19, or call it COVID-20. The recent times have been unprecedented, and the near future is unforeseeable. Hoping to live long, and hoping to see you back again in the second part, and keeping our fingers crossed. Stay healthy and stay blessed. Thank you so much.